Bhasin joining us this morning to talk markets and his stock picks. Sanjiv, morning. It appears that overnight, things have turned amber there in the US. In last hour of trade yesterday as well, here in India, advanced decline had worsened and mid caps did take it on the chin. Are you also of the view that perhaps time is ripe to take some chips off the table, Sanjeev?
Yeah, good morning, Ajay. uh, that is the clear view which is there on the market. Now, markets will always be in aberrations, both on the up and downside. And who's to question that? Ajay, I think the type of run we've seen in PSUs is more out of under ownership and outperformance on the results. Can it continue? It surely will, but there will be a process where you will weed out the men from the boys. I think there is extreme overbought conditions in a lot of the PSU basket, and that could be a could see a smart correction. Now, to comment on the US yields and dollar, this is a constant foray. The Fed will not let you sleep either side. Three rate cuts were not there on the card 3 months back. Now there are three rate cuts. Yields are softening, so there will still be humbug whether it's March or April. Markets have moved beyond. Markets are looking at growth. The US numbers, as far as a soft landing, are very, very strong. And I think earnings is what is going to be the catalyst. In the Indian context, you are aware that for the foreigners, there is a huge feeling of missed out. They will buy PSUs or the select, large caps. But I still think there is going to be more movement into large caps as a safety net. Mid caps can see profit booking, but that's routine. And market could be in a range for some time till we get more color on earnings.
Approach clearly appears to be slightly on the defensive side by the sheer nature of the market we are in, and hence tilt towards large caps. Since you spoke about earnings, Sanjeev, are there any earnings which caught your attention?
Well, Ashok Leland, I've been advocating. I think if you are re-rating Tata Motor, Ashok Leland is now catching up on the CV side as a market share. Its bus market is roaring with Indigo. The other part, its EV market is doing extremely well. And I think Ashok Leland deserves to be re-rated. So I think numbers are very, very smart. I also like the numbers from Bharti Airtel. I mean, 208 or 208 rupees as an ARPU was a far cry 1 year back. Of course, the stock has run up. Secondly, Ajay, even though there was disappointment on some of the agrochems for specialty players like SRF, Tata Chemical and UPL, I think they are now in an accumulation zone. So if you are looking for some ideas, there are enough in the specialty chemical, given that China's stimulus is going to come back. And we think this destocking for UPL and Tata Chemical, SRF, that whole basket may be done with. And we could see much more traction coming faster than we thought. So these are contrarian plays where you can be, the price is on your side, but the underlying fundamentals will take, a few weeks or maybe a month or so for them to stabilize.
Morning, Sanjeev. Wanted to get in your take as well as to what the outlook is when it comes to Britannia in terms of the kind of quarterly numbers just going by what we've seen within the entire FMCG space, the fact that they have acknowledged a rural slowdown. What is your anticipation?
Correct. So I think that is part and parcel, but Britannia is up for different reasons. I think there is some corporate event because the stock has been on a tear. I expect Nestle to come out with very strong numbers. That's due tomorrow. I think Britannia could be, all the numbers are in the price. There could be little EBITDA pressure of 1% or so because of the rural side, but it's a super brand to buy. And Avan, I think Nestle and Britannia have been relative outperformers. Now, in the context of where they are more of, a play as a necessity now. And I think that there will be some corporate news which is there on Britannia. Otherwise, the way the stock has been on one of the best performers, it has to be accompanied by other news. We know that the Wadia Group is looking to divest, and there could be some smart play over there. On the other hand, I would say I continue to think Nestle to be a pedigree name in your portfolio at a time when defensives are going to be a little bit on the positive side. You should be hiding in some of the FMCG names.
Okay, fair enough. That's the view coming in. But also wanted to get in your take in terms of what's happening with Paytm. We understand now that there are some startup founders, a cluster of them, that have written to the finance minister and the RBI governor seeking a review of the RBI action. What is it that you make of the developments that we're seeing in Paytm?
Well, I am also a silent spectator like most others and waiting for more news or clarity. It's a drastic measure. And now, as a corollary to that, Jio Finance, which we also own, is up 16% in 2 days. Bajaj Finance, which we have been negative on, is fallen like a rock. It's been underperforming. So it tells us that there could be something more, which is, fishing. Just to also tell you, Avan, every day 77 lakh shares are being taken away by smart investors or people who are in the know. So I cannot comment till the RBI gives more clarification, because it's not just Paytm's KYC and other norms. It will be the whole ecosystem. And we know the type of unicorn, the funding which is going around, the private equity of the business, retail, they will give them more time. But I think this is all in the domain of the RBI. So it will be difficult for us to comment. We are waiting as silent spectators. As a disclosure, we have clients who have position in Paytm, and we'll wait for more color before we can react.
The other development which has happened in Paytm overnight is first that the news that they want to sell some part of the business, wallet business, to some other players, that has been denied both from the Jio Financial side and of course our sources say from the RBI. Our sources in the RBI have been telling us that any such transaction cannot happen right now. So those are the two things you need to keep in mind. But we have managed to get a slew of opinion coming in on Paytm, how you should be approaching that name and whether it's worthwhile to buy that stock.
Well, yes and no. Definitely, we have as a disclosure both HPCL and IOC in our portfolio. We still think these are excellent plays on the slightly longer term. They've underperformed for such a long time, and now with both the refining margins rising, the results being outperformer, and no impetus from the government, I think they are in a very, very sweet spot. Yes, but you are right. They have run up far in excess in a very, very short period. There will be the provincial profit booking, but longer term, we think energy players in India, like all the OMCs and ONGC, seem to be in a very, very sweet spot.
Talking of energy, one of your old favorites, Sanjiv, Petronet LNG. I want your thoughts on that one. Very interesting news coming in on the ticker right now from agencies that Petronet LNG will renew their long-term contracts with Qatar beyond 2022. Guys, if you could get that flashes back. It's been a mover. It's been a late mover compared to some of the other energy stocks, but it has started moving. And the news is that they will be renewing their arrangement with Qatar beyond 2028. So LNG deal could be announced as early as Tuesday. Sanjeev, your thoughts at 275 on Petronet? Does it have more juice?
Well, Ajay, we've been advocating from the peak and the global pricing of LNG prices. But as long as there is constant supply, we are of the opinion that India is fast moving towards more of gas-based business. Petronet will be one of the biggest beneficiary. So we have a long-term target of 350 at 210, 215. We did not imagine it will come so fast, but that is the speed of which PSU's underperformance is now getting corrected. So hold or add on declines or add some here would be the advice.
Okay, fair enough. That's the take coming in. Sanjeev, just curious as to what your outlook is. We spoke about some of the OMCs, but what about the other stocks that are at life highs within the entire PSU space? The fact that even some of the railway stocks.
So, one, we have three disclosures. NBCC, which I have been bullish since 3 years, didn't perform 35, 40, and suddenly in 2 months, 40 has become 170. Hoodco is another pick. And last but not least, I am still very bullish on IOC and NALCO. NALCO can be a huge outperformer, even can double over a period of time. But right now, like you've seen, there has been huge outperformance. So taking some chips off the block is not a bad idea. But remember, when you do get the correction, then get into these stocks because I think they are on a multi-year breakout. and they are richly rewarding the patience of the last 3 years underperformance.
Sanjeev, always good to have you in the show. We'll let you go on that note. But let me